Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, the award-winning Amazon merchant and best-selling author from Long Island, New York. Here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Howdy, listeners. This is Jordan Malik. You're listening to the Ask Jordan podcast right in front of your naked, steaming eyes. This is our 23rd episode. So thank you so much for making me part of your day. It's an honor that of all the choices you had today, you chose to listen to me. And I'm very happy to be here with you right now. So in case you're joining us for the first time ever, in every episode of Ask Jordan, we answer one question from you about selling on Amazon. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner, you never started selling on Amazon, or if you're an expert. We try to answer all the questions that we have come in. So if you miss any of our other podcasts, go to askjordan.net, where you'll be able to instantly listen or download them or find them on iTunes. If you hear me mention a URL on the podcast, we used to spell them out on the air. We don't do that anymore. So if I mention a URL or a web address, just go back to the askjordan.net page and look for the corresponding podcast. Like today's the 23rd, episode 23. And you'll see any links to any URLs mentioned there that you can click on. You can get 7 of my best-selling ebooks for free if your question is answered on this podcast. So at the end of this podcast, just a few moments from now, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. First, we're going to answer today's question. This is Jacob from Virginia. Go ahead, Jacob.
Hey, Jordan. This is Jacob from Texas. My question is, I just signed up for my Amazon Pro Seller account maybe last week, and do I need to create a business to sell on as an Amazon Pro Seller? Thanks again for your podcast. Take care.
Jacob, that's a great question. No, you do not need to have a business or be an established business or have a business entity to sell on Amazon. Now, I do recommend that, but first let me provide a little bit of background. So whether there's really two selling levels on Amazon, two primary selling levels. You could be what's called an individual merchant or a pro merchant. In either case, you can represent yourself as the seller as opposed to a business. So during the application process, when you're signing up to either be an individual seller or a pro merchant, they will ask you for either your social security number or your business tax ID. So my business is jordanmalik.com Incorporated, and I typed in my business tax ID when I established myself as a seller. Actually, that's not true. I first was an individual. I put in my social security number. Then in the future, after a few months or a year or so, I changed that to be my business tax ID. So you can be either an individual selling on Amazon as an individual merchant or a pro merchant, or you can start selling on Amazon as a business if you have a business tax ID. Now, I recommend you do it as a business. If you're just doing this as like a hobby and you're doing like maybe 20 grand a year max in total sales across everything. I'm talking about if you're selling on Amazon and you're selling on eBay or sort of doing something other thing on the side that's related to internet marketing. If your cumulative revenues are 20 grand or less, then, and I'm not an accountant and this isn't legal advice, it's just my opinion. My opinion is, yes, you can use yourself as an individual and not establish a business. The reason you should establish yourself as a business eventually is for a few things. One, you're competing in the big picture, you're competing against sellers who are established as a business. You can drive down your out-of-pocket costs considerably in your net, as they would say it, by writing off expenses like your scanning equipment if you have a scanner, or your cell phone, or your car. I should say, and all these things can be established as expenses. And your car, or your mileage in your car, the federal regulated mandate of deductible for car mileage is like 55 cents or somewhere around 55 cents per mile. Part of your house can be labeled as an expense if you use your house to warehouse stuff or just do the processing for your items, etc. It becomes a much better business decision. Take Amazon away from all this. It becomes a much better business decision if you're going to grow this thing and you're going to be doing more than $20,000 a year. That's my opinion, is that you establish a business. And also, if you're a pro merchant, If you're a pro merchant on Amazon, you are required to have liability insurance. And I covered that in a previous podcast. So Amazon requires that you file with them a certificate, commercial general liability, CGL, insurance policy, if you're a pro merchant only, not if you're an individual merchant, if you're a pro merchant. And I'm pretty sure, at least in New York, that you can't really apply for business insurance unless you have a business, right? So you can't go apply for business insurance as an individual. So eventually, if you're going to be serious about this thing and this thing is going to grow, you're going to have to establish yourself as a business anyway. Okay. I use, by the way, the first thing you should do when you establish a business, by the way, is get an accountant or get feedback from an accountant on how to structure your business. Should you be an S Corp? Should you be an LLC, etc. Don't go in that blindly. I did that and I established myself as one form of a corporation. And then I got an accountant. My accountant said, you really shouldn't do this. It's going to cost you way too much money because of your housing and this and that and your business situation, whatever. You'd be better off filing as this corp. So I had to dissolve the corporation of one type and create a corporation of another type in the state of New York, and that was a big headache. So if you decide to go about establishing yourself as a business, first meet with an accountant, find a trusted accountant if you know any business friend owners, and the accountant does not have to be an expert in e-commerce. My accountant isn't. All she needs to know is about debits and credits and how to file stuff with the state and federal, and she's very good, but all of her businesses are brick and mortar. Pizza parlors, from pizza parlors to, I don't know, advertising services to equipment rental, So first get yourself an accountant. Then when I needed to establish myself as a corporation, to get a corporation certificate and make a business name and all that, I did it through a company called Biz Filings, B-I-Z Filings, bizfilings.com. So those are a couple tidbits, but don't do anything business-wise until you meet with an accountant. Or call up one of your friends who owns a business already and say, do you have a business advisor or a CPA or an accountant that can answer some questions for me? I refer people that don't have any access to legal help or accounting help, I refer them to my link to justanswer.com, and where you can get some legal advice tailored to your needs for $30, $50, $60. So don't go around asking friends for direct advice from people who are not accountants or not business advisors. They're going to probably give you the wrong advice. So Jacob, I hope that helps you. Jacob gets 7 of my best-selling ebooks about selling on Amazon and eBay. They're worth well over $75 total. Jacob, please contact me at askjordan.net and click on the little envelope near the right-hand upper side underneath Contact Me, and you can send me an email that way. If you, the listener, have a question about selling on Amazon that you'd like answered, go to askjordan.net or call 516-619-online. That's 516-619-6654. If I pick your question to answer, like Jacob, you'll get 7 of my best-selling ebooks. Their total price for everyone else is over $75. And you get to hear your voice on my podcast. While you're there, please subscribe to my free newsletter for Amazon and eBay sellers. I give away a ton of ideas, strategies, examples of what to sell, etc. Go to askjordan.net, scroll down on the right-hand side, and you'll see the sign-up form for the free newsletter. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the Ask Jordan podcast. We'll see you again in our next episode.